Welcome back to Satisfactory. When we left off, we had finished making our iron plates, which are over there, automating those, and our iron rods and our concrete. And I told you between the episodes I was going to set up our copper plant, which I've done over here. It is making copper wire, and then that copper wire is going into this storage container, and then manually I'm taking copper wire out of here and dropping it into this constructor, which is making our cable. But we're going to clean all this up eventually and automate all of this here pretty soon, but I wanted to get enough resources to kind of help us get through the next couple of tiers pretty quickly. I have also made a down and dirty D&D biomass constructor. It's taking leaves, input leaves, and from the leaves it's making biomass. So I'm going to take these leaves that we have in our inventory and drop that in there. I've also added 3 more biomass burners, increasing our power from 40 megawatts to 130 megawatts, so we can expand our bases. And again, this will all be tore down eventually, and we will clean it all up. And I also over here have a little plant making screws. Screws require, as you see, they're going into the container. Screws require iron rods, and this is making iron rods, and then this is making our ingots from our ore. So at the moment, that's what we've got set up. We've got screws being made, we've got plates and rods being made, got some biomass being made, got some concrete being made, I got some wire being made up over there, and then we've got some cable being made over there. And look at that, there's another slug, which we will get in a minute, but since I'm in fly mode, I don't want to get that. I'm super fly right now, and I want to do this the normal way, so I'll be back in just a moment after I turn off Superfly or just fly mode, and we'll go from there. Alright, I'm out of fly mode. Let's go check out our milestones. So we'll go to the hub terminal. We'll do tier 1. I have banked up, I believe, enough material to get us through these first 3 milestones. Phase tier 1 requires these milestones, so we're going to select base building milestone, select it, and we do have enough concrete. It takes 200 concrete, 100 plates, and 100 rods, and so we're going to drop that. Remember, control click or shift click, either one. We'll send that off, and our little rocket guy will take off here in just a second.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization. Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
Alright, let's see what we got from that. From base building, now we have these 2 new things here. We have walls. We can build walls now, and we can build foundations. We get 1 inch, 2 inch, and 4 inch. These are ramps, and these are for flat foundations. If I click one, you can kind of see what it looks like. I like to put the 1 inch foundation on my toolbar. So if I highlight what I want, press 5, it'll be number 5 on my toolbar. That's where I like it. One thing you can do is I'll select a foundation. This is true for most build items. So you press 5, and you can press E, and you can select a different E as an elephant. My southern, sometimes it's hard to understand me. So you can select what you want, what size of foundation you want. You can press R, which changes the way you can build it. Default builds 1 at a time, as you can see. Build 1, build 1. Or I could press, oops, let me get that back up. I can press R and hold it. I can select vertical, so I can build up. Or I can press R again and do zoop, and zoop is what we're going to leave it on, but zoop will let you do a horizontal one, so I can go across and then go across. Now I'm going to clean all this up. I'm going to deconstruct it. Press F, highlight what you want. And the trick to highlight, remember, you can swing this around and just start destroying everything, but let's not do that. So we're going to hit F, and we're going to hit G, which means it will get only the 1 meter foundations. You see how it says kind of at the top there, dismantle filter foundations meter 1. Now if I hit control, it'll only get those things, and when I swing over here to these guys, it doesn't pick those up. So let's clean this up because we're not ready to do those bases, that particular thing just yet. Let's get that other one hiding in the corner. All right, and then with our freighter back, we can send off for the next milestone. So let's go here. We're going to do logistics. That's going to give us splitters and mergers and lifts, which we can go up and down with our inventories and our factory, help us make our factories go up. And it's just going to help us build efficiently. So we'll select that milestone. Go ahead and send these guys off. And this should take a minute or two. A minute, or it's going to take 3 minutes. So remember, it takes a little longer each time.
Milestone reached. Conveyor.
So I'm over at the screw factory. I'm going to pick those up for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and run over here and pick up our some additional rods. And some, in fact, you know what? I'll be back in just a second. Let me go ahead and get these extra supplies, and then we'll do the next milestone. Okay, we're going to select our second, our next milestone, which is field research, which is what I want to kind of get to. We'll slow down here in a second. We will send that off, and while that's off and about, we'll talk about field research in just a minute. Of course, our pod will take
Milestone
off.
reached.
Okay, with that milestone sent off, we can actually now make a MAM. If you pull up our constructor menu, we have a special item now called the MAM, the Molecular Analysis Machine, or MAM. So we're going to drop one here. Again, this is all temporary base stuff. And then we're going to use it. So remember all that stuff we collected from our first episode? We dumped it into our storage bin. We're going to collect all of this stuff that we can research now and use these here. Well, I need some more room. So let me go ahead and I'll drop some of these in here for now, and I'll come back and pick them up in a minute. Let's go ahead and get this and that. And then let's see what we can do with the MAM. Now, the MAM will help you research alternative recipes. We looted a hard drive from one of the crash pods in the last episode. We'll do that. We'll start to analyze that at the end of this talk right here that I'm doing. After we do all this MAM stuff, at the end of all of our MAM presentation, I guess you should say it that way, because it takes about 10 minutes to, no, it doesn't take about, it takes 10 minutes to analyze the hard drive, so we'll save that for last. So, but in the meantime, let's open up the MAM. Again, like I said, we can analyze hard drives. We can analyze the megafauna that we, remember all the animals that we had to take out that were attacking us, and we picked up their remains. We can study those remains, and from those remains we'll be able to make alien protein. And from alien protein, we'll be able to make some other stuff down here as we open up this tree. Mycelia was those little mushroom-looking things we looted inside that cave. And inside that cave is where we got those stinger remains. Remember, stingers are the spider-looking things. Nutrients, pale berries we don't have yet. But we do have some barrel nuts, and we do have some bacon and garlic or mushrooms, which we can use. And we have some power slugs, which is really what I want to open up here pretty quick, because this will help us make our factories way more efficient. And efficient factories are better on power and just better on making things in general. And then sulfur will help us open up what's called an obelisk. And an obelisk is basically an explosive that we can use to clear things like rocks and things along the way. So we'll go ahead and start with megafauna. These things are pretty quick. It take 3 seconds to kind of each one to kind of learn. So we'll pick the one we want to learn. We do have enough of the items. It takes 1 hog remain to learn this research. We have 3, so we're just going to start it, and we'll use 1. And Ada will tell us about it in just a second. All right, next we're going to go ahead and look at the hatchery remains. Again, we have 4. We only need 1 to do this research, so we'll do start research. And then after we get through this research, Ada will tell us something, but I'll probably go straight to the stinger remains. Okay, next we have the stinger Research, we have 2 remains. We only need 1 again for this one. 1 to actually needed to research it, so it'll consume 1 and we'll save the other one. And Ada will tell us all about it here in a second, but we'll probably skip that part. With that, now we will look at the spitter remains. We have 6 spitter remains and we only need 1 to research it, so we'll do that. And then we'll work our next plan of attack out here for the alien megafauna tree. Alright, so all those remains now can be turned into alien protein, and we don't have any alien protein, so let's go ahead and turn those into alien protein. Remember, you can look for more recipes in the codex as it says there at the bottom, but right now it's 1-to-1. One of these will make an alien protein, so we go to our we're probably not going to automate that for a while, but we have 2 hog proteins which we can make into alien protein, and same way with the hatchers, and then same way with the stingers, and then same way with the spitter poison. See, this list is also getting longer from our last episode, as you might realize. So now let's go ahead and look in the alien megafauna tree and see if we can get this guy. This guy happens to be alien DNA capsule and biomass. So once we research this, we can turn our alien proteins into biomass. So let's do research. And Ada will tell us all about that, but then we're going to look and see what's next. Alright, so let's see what else we got in this tree that we got. We have to open this guy. In order to do that, we're going to need 5 protein or alien DNA capsules and 100 rod. We don't have the alien DNA capsule yet, which we will craft some, but we could get the well, if we had rotors, if we had 50 rotors, we could make this medical inhaler from our barrel nuts and the alien protein. And medical inhalers heal you up faster when you're fighting these animals. They heal you up faster than the actual individual edibles themselves. We will definitely be making some of those. Probably won't automate that part. We'll probably just do those manually because you don't need a whole lot of those. Remember, you get better weapons as you move through the game. Here we can get a rebar gun, but we don't have the materials yet. We have to unlock this tree, unlock this item in the tree, and then unlock this, and then we can get a rebar gun which shoots iron rebar and then some other kinds of material down the line. If we had 1,000 wire, or excuse me, 1,000 cable, we could get 6 more inventory slots. We'll do that eventually, but not right at this moment. And also, if we had some steel beams, which we are not anywhere near steel production yet, we could get some of these expanded tool belt slots, get another hand slot for us. And then as we get further on down the game, we'll be able to scan for enemies. That's a little bit, it's going to be several episodes before we do that. So let's run the mycelia tree real quick. Again, remember, mycelia were those little mushroom looking things we picked up. So we will research this. It takes 5, and we have 28.
The mycelial networks of these fungi possess unusually resilient hyphae, which show potential for making a strong but lightweight natural fabric. Additionally, it has similar medicinal and pest control applications to mycelia on Earth.
Alright, from mycelia we can make fabric. In order to make fabric, though, we need to be able to unlock it, and unlocking it, it was going to take what do we have? We need 25 mycelia. We only have 23, so there's nothing else we can do in that tree. Let me pull it back up, sorry. We also, if we had nobelisks, we could make a gas nobelisk, which we don't have nobelisks yet. And then if we had these things called stators, which is what these are, a little bit later in the game we'll be able to make those, but right now we're not. And we got to get some more mycelia, which we will in a little bit. So next in the tree is next in the research MAM is the nutrients tree. This will give us some medical inhalers if we get down to the end, but right now all we can research is barrel nuts, and all we can research is the mushrooms, because we don't have the pale berries yet. So let's go ahead and do the mushrooms, and then we will do the the pale berries. Well, good grief, what are these things called? Barrel nuts. It says right there, in case you don't understand my southern and I can't read. We'll unlock the barrel nuts, and then we will unlock the mushrooms. Okay, now the bacon agaric, or aka the mushroom. Well, according to Ada, I've been saying bacon agaric. It's a bacon, I don't know, mushroom. We're just going to call it mushroom. It's pronounced differently, but again, I'm not very good. I'm not good at English because Southern's my first language. Pale berries we will find, so we haven't found any yet. When we do, we'll come back to that, and then we'll unlock this. But this is a little bit later because we don't have any of these resources yet. So next, I'm going to skip power slugs for a second because I want to come back to that. Let's do sulfur. We do have a little bit of sulfur with us. We have 10. Well, we have 20, but we only need 10 to open up this tree. So we'll do that, and then we'll see what this tree offers for us. Okay, with sulfur unlocked, that gives us access to this tree, which we can make black powder. Once we get the resources, we can research that. That's going to take coal and some more sulfur, which we don't have. And then we can eventually, once we get steel pipes, we can, which is what this is, steel pipes, we can combine those and get the Novelisk and get some explosive device to help remove things out of our base, to move some rocks and things, so we can build our bases a little bit smoother and easier without some obstacles. And also we can eventually get another hand tool slot once we get the right stuff. Now let's go back to power slugs. Power slugs are going to help us to fine-tune our plants to help them be more efficient. So let's go ahead and start the research there, and then we're going to see what opens up in the tree for us. Okay, that opened up the ability for us to scan for slugs, for blue power slugs. Once we open that, which we can, because it'll take 50 iron rods, some cable, and 50 iron rods, some wire, and some screws, of which we have. So I'm going to go ahead and do that research. Right. So what we can do is we can also unlock, well, we cannot unlock power slugs at the moment because we need a yellow power slug, we need rotors, we do have some cable, but we can do this one once I go make us a power shard. You make power shards from these slugs. So let's go over here to our crafting bench. Right now I generally just go ahead, and we have 3 blue slugs, so we can make 3 power shards. Yellow power slugs make, I believe it's 2 power shards per one, and then the purple or pink slugs make 5 per one slug. So 5 power shards for one slug. So let's go ahead and make that. And I am going to go ahead and make 5 of these so we can get that one item unlocked on our megafauna tree. So I'm going to get 5 of those. Alright, so let's go back over to the MAM. Let's go ahead and do the megafauna. And did I do it already and didn't know it? Nope, I didn't do it. Oh, I needed it for this right here. That's right. My apologies. I forgot which one we were going to unlock. So we're going to go ahead and do this research because we got the rods, and now we have the alien DNA capsules. So that'll give us access to the rebar gun to research that once we get enough rotors, which we don't have yet. We're making screws at the moment, but we're not able to make rotors. And we can't do that yet. So let's go back to the power slugs, and let's actually get this unlocked, overclocking production, which will help us to, if we have power slugs, we can increase production of whatever using those power shards made from those slugs, or we can actually underclock our factories to where they're efficient. And right now our miners, well, our iron miners are making 120 a minute mining 120 iron. And we don't have a way to handle that much iron, so we can reduce it so that it's a lot more efficient. But anyway, let's go ahead and research this tree and get the overclocking and underclocking set up for us, and then I will show you how that works. All right, now let's talk about overclocking and underclocking. I'm going to talk about underclocking real quick with these guys because this miner is mining 120 a minute. Right now my smelter can only take in 30 a minute, and my constructor over here can only take in 30 minutes, so I need to reduce the amount of iron this guy makes. So to do that, I can either change the percentage here if I know the percentage of 30, or I can punch in the number because I know I want 30, I do 30, and then it'll reduce it. Now I'm doing 25%. If I take this out of here, and if I need to clear these, clear this out, and then if I clear, well, clear that out too. So right now, they're starting to spin back up again. This guy will only make 30 iron, or only mine 30 iron ore per minute because we underclock it, which makes this guy receive 30 iron ore per minute, which makes this 100% efficient, and then this guy will use all of those things it makes, and it will be efficient from that. So basically our iron plate facility is 100% efficient now. And we'll do the same thing with our rods over here, and then I'll go up to the copper and kind of show you a couple other things here in a minute. So, oh, I guess we should see how that works. So right now, we need 15 ingots to make 15 rods. We're making 30 ingots, so let's reduce this by 50%. Now we're making 15 ingots, but then our ore over here is making 120 because we're on a pure node. Let's change this to 15, and now this thing is at 100%. Not a good use of these mines. We're going to come back and undo all of this stuff eventually in these factories to clean them up and make them a lot better. I'm going ahead and clean this up. My inventory is full. I'm going to dump these, so if I could drag and drop this, it's gone. I could drag and drop this into the trash can, it's gone. There's one other thing you can do to kind of make it a little bit better for you, is you can do if you hit control and select the item, all items of that kind will be deleted. You drop it into the thing, now all three of those are gone. So we're emptied on that guy, go ahead and empty that guy and empty that. And then we will empty this. I know we're not supposed to waste it, fix it, but this is just to show you. So now I can take all of these iron ingots, control click, drag and drop to the trash. Same with the iron ore, and now my slots are freed up, and this is running at 100% efficiency. So when I come back in just a minute, we'll be up at the at the copper mine, and we will go from there. We are up at our copper factory at the moment, or down and dirty for copper factory, and I saw, and I think we mentioned it a while ago, over here is, you see those little blue raindrop looking things? That means there's a power slug over here. We're going to go pick that guy up. I'm going to show you a little technique you can use. So I don't have a way to get up here from here, or get up there from here. If I'm going to open up my build menu, select my foundations, I'm going to get my 4-inch foundations, and I don't need to align it with the world grid because this is temporary. I'm going to kind of line it up with that guy, and I'm going to zoop mode. Remember, to change your mode, you press R, will quickly change it, and so I can press R and I can do, well, I only do zoop with this guy, but with the flat ones, oops, I'll put it back on zoop mode. Let me line that up and pull that down. And now I will jump up here, run up here and pick up this slug. Hopefully there's no violent guys around it. Let's see, take a pick, look. Yeah, so we can pick him up. Oops, and you hit E to pick him up. Just hold it. And I'm gonna press F. I'm gonna press G just to dismantle my 4-inch map of my 4-inch ramps. And come over here and remove those guys, because that was just temporary, just so we can get up there. So now back over to our, we will convert him into a power shard when we get back over to our base a little bit later. So for now, I'm going to deconstruct this all, and then we're going to build us a efficient copper factory. There's one other thing which we did, oops, excuse me, which let me hit, what am I looking for? The build tool, yes, Q. If I go under organization, we have a new personal storage box we can drop one of those down and put stuff in it if we want. I want to press F to clean that guy up, or I can hit Q, and now we have this lookout tower. Lookout tower, until we get some more advanced technology, where we can actually fly around without having to use cheat codes, then we can use this lookout tower to help us build our bases and get them lined up. So I'm going to put it here, and you see there's some a ladder which you can climb up. You can spin it around like anything else. I want to drop it right here for now, and then I'm going to climb up it. I'm also going to put that one on my toolbar, because sometimes it's a good safety net when you're being chased by some of the animals, and sometimes it's just good to have it on your toolbar. I make that number 0. So now I'm going to go ahead and dismantle all of this. Again, F, and then you can click on what you want to take apart, but I'm going to take apart everything. And I missed that one. And you see those little boxes down there? That means my inventory is full. If I look, my inventory is all full. That's overflow from the deconstruction. You don't lose anything when you deconstruct things, but you do lose, well, you only have so much inventory space. So I'm going to run over here and drop us a storage container down and put in this storage container stuff we don't need. Like, we don't need that, not at the moment yet anyway. Don't need those guys, don't need that, don't really need that. Probably should have left all of that at base, but this that should be good enough. Let's go ahead and see what we got in these containers over here. We have some ingots and some plates, so we unload that. These are temporary. Once you unload them, they're all gone. And I am going to actually go ahead and get rid of this pole and this pole, and then we're going to run back up our tower, and we're going to lay down some foundation. And we got to talk about the world grid. Ooh, almost jumped off the tower. You can jump off the tower, you'll take some damage depending on the technologies that you have, but right now we'll take a little bit of damage. Alright, so we can build a foundation. I'm going to pull up our foundation. You see how it kind of clips into the hills because it goes up and down the hills. Nothing's flat. We want to build over there. Now there's a thing called the world map. If I hit control, it'll line all of this up to the world map. You see how it's kind of snapping here and there. What that means is if I build on the world grid, then any other factory I build will line up exactly. So if I put this guy here on the world grid, and then I go over here and put this on the world grid, and then I line these guys up, they'll line up. It doesn't mean height-wise they'll line up, but they'll definitely line up from a horizontal side. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those, and we're going to build a actual foundation. That was probably not a bad idea. Let's I'll do the 4-inch foundation. Let's do a 2-inch foundation, 2 meter, and we'll highlight it and probably start. How do we want to do this? Let's see. Well, trick here is we're going to have to make sure that we have. Don't build it too high over our mine, because if we build it too high, then our miner won't reach. So I'm going to just make a guess, and I want to try right here and see. Let's see if our miner will land in the right place. Let's see if this will work here. All right, I'm going to pull up a miner and just kind of drop a miner on it. Okay, so see, that's not too high, so that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out our foundations. Again, I'm using 2 meters this time. I'm going to go out that way. You can go out 10 foundations if you want to. I'm only going to go out however many that was, 4 or 5. Probably 4. Back that up. And we're going to build our initial copper mine up here. Oops. And you can see if I try to build where there's something already built, it won't let me do it. If I try to go here and I try to zoom across, oh, there's 2 other things, so I can't go there. So I can only build 1 there. So let me go ahead, and what we will do here is line these guys up. As we do this in the future, I'm gonna do this in a time lapse, so you don't have to watch it as it goes. But right now, this is our first big build. Oh, you can turn the foundations too. If you do your mouse wheel, it'll turn on you. Just so you know, you can turn it. And let's see here. We'll do one more layer across just for fun. Now we'll pull out our miner. Oh, we got these guys here, which we haven't used, but we're about to use them here on this build. So let's find our miner. Got to find our spot where the guy is at. It's locked on the node, and you can spin it around however you need to spin it around. So I'm going to hop off of our tower and watch me take some damage. Not too bad, but some. And let's go look at our miner here. Remember, we're on for this particular copper node, it's an impure node, and so we're only making 30 a minute. So that's a problem for what I want to do. So let's pull up the constructor and let's talk about that for a minute. So I want this mine to build us some wire. Oops, I didn't mean to click it. Build us some wire and to build us some cable. But to build cable, it takes 60 wire, as you can see here. But to make wire, it takes 15 ingots a minute. Well, our node here can only produce 30 ingots a minute. So 30 ingots a minute will produce 60 wire a minute. And 60 wire a minute will only give us cables. So really, what I need is I need to be able to make 3 constructors that do wire. So if we press N, there's a little quick search here. I need 3 constructors, and I need them to make 15 a piece. So I need 45 ingots a minute, and there's 1 ingot per 1 ore, or vice versa. So if I escape out of here, whoops, if I could click the right button, it would help, or hit the X, excuse me. Now, this is where we're going to overclock. Remember, we talked about underclocking our factories down below here, but we're going to overclock this to 45, because that way it'll give us 45 iron, which will give us 3 constructors worth of wire, of 2 of which we can use to make cable. So we need to overclock our miner here to make 45 ingots a minute, which means we need to make 45 ore. I could double click and then I can move this up and down to where you get 45, or if you want to, you can control click and it'll dump all everything they have, and right now I only have 2 into here, and if I maxed it out I can make 60 a minute. Well, we're trying to make efficient plants, so we really only need 45 a minute, so I'm going to remove that guy. We got 45 a minute coming out. Now, in order to take the output into here and split it into 2 smelters, because 2 smelters would give me enough to do 45 ingots, because 1 smelter does 30, and we'll underclock the other smelter to do 15. So what we need to do is use one of the new tools we got, this conveyor splitter. It will take the output of whatever goes into it and split it, and you can split it up to 3 ways along the path. So I'm going to go ahead, remember inputs to outputs, outputs to inputs, I should say it that way. Green to yellow, green to orange, green to orange. And so I'm going to drop this guy here, and drop me another one right here, and green to orange, and we got the line going. That's great. Now I have to connect this guy with this guy. I want to show you a little nice thing to kind of beautify your belts. So if I do my belt right now, it's on default mode. If I click on it and I drag and drop it over here and I let go of it, it's not very pretty. You think you kind of want it to go this way and back around that way. I'm going to remove this one. There's a straight mode for building belts. You hit 3, kind of go over here to that. If you hit R, you can do default or straight, default or straight. You can I got it for straight now, and that's default. Just a quick R click, R, and I want to drop that guy in there, and then we'll try to connect. I can't get it at right now. Connect these 2 together, so the ore will come out of here and be going to this one. Some will go into this one, smelter, and then it'll split and go into this smelter. So let's go ahead and drop our smelters into place. Remember, inputs to outputs to inputs to outputs. So orange, green to orange, green to orange. So I've got that lined up. I'm going to put that smelter about right there. If I hit control click, it gives me that bluish line there, and I can line it up, but it's not lined up with my splitter. Oh, now it is. Drop that guy. Get some power going. All right. I need some power for my miner. which I don't have this going out to anything yet. We'll do that in a minute. So now we have to configure our smelter. So if I go here and I select copper ingots, I want this one to be at 15 because we're going to do the first one at 15. And there's something you can do with most machines is you can copy and paste the configuration. So if I go here and open it up, I can say copy settings. It'll copy the settings from here, and then I can go over to that one and do Control V, or if I highlight this one, I can do Control C, and then I can come over here and hit Control V. Well, let me show you here. This one's not configured. I hit Control V, and now let me show you it's configured. But we want this at 100%, so we'll crank that back up. So now we have 30 ingots here, 15 ingots here. That gives us 45, which should give us enough to get our our wire and our cable being made. So now let's take the output of these guys and combine them all together using a merger. The idea is it takes the output of whatever you're connecting to and merges it in line with whatever you're connecting it to. In this case, we're going to merge our ingots all together into one line. All right. So now what I think I want to do is over here, I'm going to expand this out a little bit. I want to have the output come out of there. In fact, I'm going to switch these around to where right now they're coming out of here, and the output of this guy is coming out here. See that? I really think I want the output to go that direction. So let me take these down and point them the other way. Again, this is generally how I build my bases, which may drive some of you nuts. I don't always plan it all out. I just think, let's see what's the best way to go. But I want the output of this guy to go over here. I want the output of this guy to go right there. And you'll see what I'm doing here in a second. We'll take an aerial look at this in a minute. Oops. Oh, why did that go in there? Because I got the wrong inputs to outputs. Let me put the right one down. Get a merger. Put that way, and I think this is a splitter too. Yep, I'll put splitters down instead of mergers. There's ways to convert to switch those automatically. Yeah, I forgot what it was. All right, out of the smelter into the split merger. Now the merger needs to go to the other merger. Bam. There, and there, and there. And if I did it right, this is going to come out of here. And we're going to go behind our miner. Let's expand our base, so let's get our foundations out. And we don't have a way to take these trees out yet. We will probably do that in the next episode. Let's see here. I like to leave a little bit. Alright, so drop these guys down. Alright, for now we're kind of leave it like that. Now right now we're going to need 3 constructors because we're making wire, and 2 of those constructors are going to feed our cabling. So let's go ahead and we'll drop another set of splitters along here. So let's pick a splitter out and kind of line it up with our belt. In fact, I don't know if it'll show the line or not over here, but yep, we're good. We're lined up. And I'm on splitters. I need 3 of them, so I'm going to drop one right here. Make sure our ins and outs and ins are lined up. Hook that up. Remember to hook this guy up. We're going to get our constructors out. And line this guy up with that one. Line this guy up with that one. Line this guy up with that one. Connect there. Oops, I don't have a merger there. A splitter there, but that's okay. We're going to add one. Get up on top of this guy, pull up our splitters, kind of line it up, hit control, and do your belts. Now remember to get power and configuration, so we'll do some power here. We have power to that one, but we got to hook the constructor up to it. And hook this constructor up to power, and we're good, but now we need to configure them. I need wire. Again, Control C. Control V, double check it. Control V over here in this one because it's still in the buffer. And now we're making wire. Nice, we're making wire. The thing with wire is we're making 30 a minute and 30 a minute and 30 a minute. Our belts currently only go 60 a minute. I was going to combine all the outputs into one and then have another constructor down there build up our wire. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take two of these guys and take the output of two of them and put another constructor in front of it. So we're going to take out of this. Whoops, almost fell off the cliff here. That's good. Gotta be careful. We'll set up some safety features down the road when we get the awesome sink. Take the output of this one and get these guys. We'll drop a constructor here to make cabling from our wire that we're making. Oh, inputs to outputs to inputs to outputs. And line that up. Set this up for cabling. Give it some power. Hook it to that guy. And now we're going to have to figure out some places to store these things. I'm going to continue to build out a little bit. I think eventually we're going to get all of our inventory, a lot of inventory in this central location, probably down over there. But we're not quite there yet. So in the meantime, we're going to have our storage up here for the copper. And I'm also going to expand this plant a little bit down the road so that we can make copper sheets when we get down there, which means we'll have to increase the overclocking and also increase the our smelters and add another constructor, but we're not there yet. So let's go ahead and make some storage for these guys. So I'll just go ahead and put it right. Yeah, right there for now. And make sure we're lined up with this guy. Kind of line that up. Hook them up. Alright, so somewhere over there is my power. So we're going to come over here and connect a power pole to right here for the moment. And then we will go ahead and run the power to there. Let's make sure everybody's at least yellow as our miner comes online. It's kind of a bluish. It's on, but that means it's overclocked. If it was not if it was at normal speed, it would be green. Or if it was underclocked, it would be green. But it's overclocked, so it's that bluish green. But we have power to all of our constructors, and we have power to our smelters, and so I also have stuff in the inventory which I don't want to waste, so I'm going to go ahead and drop these guys in here. Let that kind of get rolling, so that'll start cranking up, and I can go ahead also over here and not let those go to waste. Go ahead and kind of preload these guys. You don't have to do this. It's just since I had that stuff in inventory, I thought I'd go ahead and do it. And now let's take a look from up here, and then we'll take a look at it. We'll do the flyby stuff. We'll get that set up and we'll do a flyby so you can kind of see it and see how that works. So from above. So from up here, you can kind of see our plant. It's starting to feed stuff into it to build up what we need. Our smelters are smelting, and our kind of see it through there. The iron ingots are going into our constructors, two constructors making wire, feeding our cable, and all that going into there. So give me a moment and we will then go into flight mode, so you can go fly over and kind of get a better look of it from above. Okay, now we're in flying mode, and you kind of see how it works. We have our miner here. It's doing our ore, feeding our smelters. Our smelters are then making ingots, which are then feeding into our constructors. These two making wire to feed to our cable. This one making wire for our storage to be used later on. So now this plant right here, this initial copper plant, is should be 100% efficient and should be running well. So we'll let that run for a bit, and I think for now we will. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let me get out of fly mode, and then we'll run back to the base. Kind of clean these two things up here. I'm going to drop a tower probably somewhere over here just for grins, and so we can kind of see it later. But anyway, let me come right back. We'll run over to our base. We'll be at our base, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, we're back at our hub. Let's look at our next milestone, our next tier. The next tier I want to get is going to be obstacle clearing. We will probably do this one, and then we will finish out this episode. We start from there, so I'm going to select that milestone. And we also have a hard drive which we want to get started scanning, but we'll look at the results of that from our next milestone as well. So this obstacle clearing takes 500 screws, takes 100 cable, and 100 concrete. So now we'll be able to do solid biofuel, which is more efficient than biomass.
Milestone.
Okay, with that milestone sent off, let's build us a chainsaw. Chainsaws takes 160 screws, 5 reinforced iron plates, 25 rods, and 15 cable, of which we all have plenty right now in our inventory. So let's craft one. We only need one. Alright, and with that, or pull it in and we'll put it in the inventory. Remember tab in case you forgot. Hopefully by now you got that down. We'll put our chainsaw in our other hand slot. We've also gotten some more inventory slots from that as well. So let's look at our chainsaw. You know, I used to actually use chainsaws all the time. We actually cleared a lot for a house when we lived in a different state than we're in now. And I dropped a tree once on a chair that my grandmother had just been sitting in. That's a true story. My grandmother did teach me how to use a chainsaw. True story, okay. And I almost killed her. But thank goodness she was unharmed, no issues there. I just killed the chair. The tree landed straight up on the chair she was sitting in. But she moved because I guess she was a smart lady and knew what was going on. Now, let's make biomass. To make solid biofuel, we need biomass. And in order to use our chainsaw, we need solid biomass here. Solid biofuel. So to make that, we need the biomass, and then now that we have this, we will be able to build us a power plant, a biomass power plant that will get us through the next couple of tiers of the game until we can get to automated power with coal power, which will be coming hopefully in the next few episodes. But for now, let's go ahead and craft up a little bit of this biofuel so I can show you how the chainsaw works. And before we run off and show you how the chainsaw works, I'm going to drop the hard drive in so it can start to be scanned, because that'll take about 10 minutes for that thing to be scanned. That's probably good enough to get started here. Let's go over to the MAM, select our hard drives. We have one in the inventory, so we hit start scanning, scan the drive. It's going to take 10 minutes, so that'll be done hopefully in our next episode. So we'll run over here to this little section because I want to clear up this little quasi island and get our, I still don't have enough to get our friendly lizard doggo. These little trees, so there are two chainsaw modes. If you press R, there's area and there's single. Single will remove just one item, so if I want to remove just this guy, it's gone. And I have the stuff in my inventory somewhere. I went to the trees and to the leaves. Now if I change it to area, it'll get an area around here and remove everything. So depending on what you're trying to do, most of the time for me it's area, but not always. But we'll do area and see what happens here. See, everything in this area is gone. Let's do area again over here with this guy, and all this stuff will be moved. Alright. And I'll probably, when I do some trimming over there, I want to leave that big tree, so I'll probably do single. But that's how chainsaws work. You need the solid biofuel to run them, and then also solid biofuel can be run in our biomass burners, which are over there, and we'll get up a factory in a minute in the next episode to get us some automated power. So we'll use chainsaw. So between now and then I'm going to go gather up some resources so we can start to build our first biomass plant, get that up and running. That'll help us get the coal, and once we get the coal, we should be able to not have to worry so much anymore about gathering up these leaves and twigs and stuff. So hopefully you like this episode. If so, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, appreciate that. That'd be awesome. Leave your comments, your thoughts. Be nice with your criticisms. I do want your criticisms because those will help us get better. But be nice about it, because we're here to have fun and enjoy the game. And until then, go automate.